Hello. Now these are new CBT scripts. I call this the CBT wave. Now I want to give you a quick run over of how this actually work. Now when a student comes to the screen, this is a web application. So it has to be run through the internet. It's not a kind of exam you have to run through a wireless network. This one has to be run through the internet. So once the user comes to the screen, this is what the user say. So the user can enter the email address or enrollment ID, the password, and the portal ID. Now, the portal ID is actually the exam code. That is a code for a user to start writing a particular exam. So it's not something like someone can just come and start writing an exam. Once an exam is created on the admin end, a code is also generated automatically. So the code is what will be sent to the student for them to be able to use to write the exam. But before they can write it, they must also be registered. So it's more like two different authentication. So if I click here, you see this is register. Now there is a registration form here, as you can see. So this is where the user will register. But not to waste much of your time, let me give you a run through the admin. Now this is the admin. This is the admin, and this is the admin. How the admin actually looks like. So this is the overview. Here you see the list of students. I've already logged in into the admin. So this is the list of the users, that are the students that are taking the exam. This is department. Admin can create more departments. I will show you the use of this department. See, these I've created some departments already: accountancy, banking, law, medicine, political science. So admin can actually click here, put it add the name of a department, then click on add to include another department. Then this is the exam board. This is where the exam is taken. So you can click here to add a new exam, that's to create a new exam, or you can as well view the existing exam. So let me click on view existing exam. Now you can see under this new existing exam, you can add question by just clicking here. And one good thing about the question here, okay, this one now, there are two questions already. Here there is no question. Let me explain how this question works. So if I click a question, click on add question. So now you select the subject, you select the point, then you enter question. Then if it's a kind of exam that actually needs a diagram or something like that, you select the diagram here and you select which is the correct answer, and you but I will do an exam system. I'll run an exam so you see how that works. So another thing we have here is the grading system. If I click on view all, I've already on the default I've already created all the grading system on the script already. um Now you can see A from 70% to 100%, B from 60% to 69%, C. So that is how it is. Then below 40 is now F, just the normal academic ranking. So if yours is not meant to be like this, can as well edit, delete, add, and things like that. So you can actually click here. If you want to add new record, you click here from to the grade and the right, so you can change it from A and write it something else if you want. So it's all about how you actually want it to be. Then we have the tools. Under the tools we have the info is where it shows information about the this particular software. Then we have the settings. Under the settings we have the general and the email. Under the general, the name of the site. Then there is this time zone. Time zone is very important. Maybe when you create an exam, you want an exam to start, for instance, tomorrow. For those in a particular country, the GMT are actually different. Some are +1, +2, +3, depending as the case may be. So you know where you're creating the exam. So depending on where you're creating the exam will also determine when a student can start writing the exam. You understand? So let's say in my location now is plus one. If I create an exam now, and the exam is to start by 12 a.m., by 12 a.m., somebody that has a different GMT, if the person GMT is plus 3, it means that the person can actually start ahead of us. I don't know if you understand that. So this GMT is actually very necessary. So depending on your zone, you know your country zone, then you select the GMT you think is best for your country. So here we have solutions. Solution is actually results that has been taken, say results. And we have subjects. So you can as well create the subjects. So, but I'll explain all those. I'll explain all those. One thing with this script is still open for further development. So if you see it, you like it, but there are more things you want to inculcate into it, more things, it's still something we can actually achieve for you. So this is just the structure of how it actually look now. This is actually the version one. So I'll try to create a new user. I'll click on add new. So I can actually create a user either from here, or I can as well create it by clicking on register. So that's the admin registering now. So okay, I'll give it the name Jack, then email, I'll give it digitalwebplus52@gmail.com. Password, I'll give it 12345. Everything is visible because it's from the admin. If it's from the user, the password won't be visible. So I'm creating it from the admin. Then for avatar, that's the image of the student. I'll just select this. I have a nice image there already. Then I click on add user. Now it's creating that particular user. You can see the user and the email has been sent notified. Okay. The user has been created. If I click on all user, you see the user I just created. Now this user I just created. So you assign a role. If a user registered, that is, if a student registered from the front end, automatically it gives the user, it give him or her a role. So I click on edit now. It give him or her a student role. But from the admin, you have to select the role. So I'll give this person the role of a student. Let me copy this. I'll need it when I want to log in. So you can as well fill other information. Let me, I'll give it the name Paul Smith. So, okay, I'll just give it the last name Smith. So this is not meant to be here. So date of birth. I just give it anything, so I won't waste much time. So I just give it anything. Gender, this is a female. Phone number, just put this. Then update account. Now this account has been updated, as you can see. So this account will be writing an exam. So first I'll try to log in this account, password, the portal ID. Now portal ID is the exam code. I'll show you that. I'll come here, click on exams, I'll click on view all. So under the view all, you can see the exam, like this particular exam. This is the code. This exam, there is no question yet, so this exam will not be holding. Let me copy it and use the code of that here, and enter portal. Portal is not available at the moment. Now why it says this is because there is no exam to be taken currently. Exam hasn't, subject has not been created for that particular exam. But if I take the second one, I think if I take the second one, that's this, I can actually write the exam with it. So I'll just paste it here. I enter my email. Okay, now enter portal. You see, this has logged in. This has logged in and it has logged in successfully. So now I want to explain this. This is how this exam is. You can't start the exam. Your exam doesn't start running automatically until you must have click on start exam and your time stays paused. So I click on start exam, then the exam starts. But one amazing thing we're able to put in here together, this is a simple exam, just two questions. One amazing thing we're able to put here together is the time synchronizes. That is, even though you reload the browser, even though mistakenly you reload the browser or mistakenly you log out, once you log in back, your time continues from where it stops. Your time continues from where it stopped. Even though the browser is reloaded, it's not something you have much challenge about. So what I'll do is I'll try to answer these two questions with this user and submit. So how many states are there? United States. So there are 50. I think that's correct. Click on next. You can see when you click on next, you can actually go to previous. Now, if there is, let me click on previous. It goes back, so you can actually change your questions. So if there are more questions, just for this demo, there are only two questions there. So if there are more questions, you still keep seeing next, 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 next. So, but from here, you know how many questions you're meant to answer. So for the second one, you say what map is in the diagram, actually sociology. So what I'll do now is, before answering this question, this second one, I will reload the browser. You can see the time, 58:26. So now I'll reload the browser. Maybe someone made a mistake and the browser gets reloaded. Now I'll reload it. You can see. Let's see what happens. You can see it has been reloaded. The time is still 58:46. The time is still perfect. So that means that there is no how we can actually cheat the system. Now, if I click on start exam, it continues from where it stops. It continues from where it stops. See? Now, this is the actual question. I can click on next. You can see this one is already answered and it's still answered. So what I'll do now is, maybe the person made a mistake and existed the portal. Person made a mistake and exits the portal. Now what will happen? So what the person need to do is to log in back. So I'll enter my email address, digitalwebplus52@gmail.com. The password 12345. And the portal ID. This is the portal ID. That's the exam code. This particular code here. So I click on enter portal. Now you can see I've logged out. Now I'm logged in back. The time is still where it is, and the question that has been answered is still answered. So what I'll do is I'll answer this question now. Okay, sociology, and I'll click on next. Then I'll submit. After submitting, it means that you're done with the exam. Okay, I think I'm having, it's loading the results. Now you can see the results. 100% excellent. 100% excellent. So in case a user is still on the process and the time elapses, what happens? If user is still writing the exam and the time elapses, what will happen is that the exam will be submitted automatically. The exam will be submitted automatically. So the time is not actually a barrier like you see on some CBT software. Once the time exists and the user is here to submit, the user will lose that, the student will lose everything. But in this case, it's not like that. So what I'll do now is I will exist. Like from this side, you can see the time. This is the student's name and this is the student image. I click on exist. And then now if I try to log in again as the exam has ended, I try to log in again, what will happen? Let me show you. Now the exam has ended and you try to log in again, what happens? You can't continue writing the exam. It shows you your results. You can't continue writing the exam. So this is how this actually works here. Now let me go back to the exams and the questions so you see how that works. Now let's create a new exam. Click on add new. I'll name it WAEC. Select department. Select department. Let me say this is medicine. The start date. Now, something about this start date. When do you want the exam to proceed? Okay, I won't use today's date. I will use tomorrow's date. I want to show you how what will happen there. I'll use tomorrow's date. Then time, as you can see the time, 1.30 actually means 1 hour 30 minutes. So what I will, that is the exam will take 1 hour 30 minutes. So I'll just put 1 means 1 hour. 0 points is you're actually putting the exam in seconds. 0.3 or 0.30 will be that the exam will last only 30 minutes. Then for the instruction, now you give instruction, the student will answer before the student will read before answering the questions. You can say, okay, let me answer all questions. Okay, then if you want the exam to be active, if you don't want it to be active yet, you can off it. Okay, now I want it to be active. I click on create exam. You can see the exam has been created. So you can return to list. I just created the exam called WAEC. Now you can see the exam I just created. Now you can edit here if you want. So now let me add questions for this particular exams. I click on questions. There is no question yet. Add question. Let me just add like 2 questions. Let's say I select the subject. Let's say chemistry. Mark for this particular question. How many points? Just 1 point. The question, you can just say 5 plus 10. If there is an image, you attach image here. 5 plus 10. First is 5 plus 10 is 15. I'll say okay 2, 15, 151, 17. So you tick which is the correct answer, as this is the correct answer. You can see you can't tick more than 1. If you're ticking 1, the other one is turning off. Then submit. So you can still add more question. Now I'm adding question subject under chemistry. Let me put another question under chemistry, or let me put a question under mathematics. I'll give this one, let's say 2 points. Then the question let's say whose image is this. Then let's say there is an image. I want to select an image. I'll select this image here. I have this aref image. Okay, I'll select this image. Then answer one a h ref. Second one being. Third one Google. Fourth yes. Now this is your correct answer. Click on submit. Now this is on mathematics. So I can create multiple questions on multiple subjects and things like that. Now, what I'll do next is I'll try to go answer this particular questions from the exam dashboard. So I'll click on view all. Now this is the portal ID. I copy the portal ID. You can see there are two questions there already. You can add question, delete the exam and things like that. But coming back here, let me exit the portal. My network is not so fast. So I enter the email address. Then the password, the portal ID. Remember what the portal ID is for the code to write this particular exam. Now I click on enter portal. You can see examination will start on 30th May. Today is 29. This exam can't start. So that's what I want to show you because you've already created a time for this particular exam. So this exam can't start. But you can still go to the admin and alter the timing of the exam. You can still come, click here, and you can actually change the time, then the exam can start. So that's just how it works. So if I go to solutions, you can see the exam I answered. You can see my exam. This exam I answered. So when you come to the subject, so you can as well add more subject if you want. I've already explained all those. So this is just how the script works. This is just exactly how the script works. So I hope it actually suits your need. So you don't really have much issue with this because it's also mobile responsive. So it's a kind of exam that even the student can actually write the exam with their mobile phones. So I hope this is actually great for you. Thank you so much.